Each of the preceding roles of the work leader is united and strengthened by the final, most critical role, the synergizer. Synergizers harness the force of change to transport people to a greater level of performance than they could reach as individuals. While average leaders try to erect barriers to change, work leaders harness its momentum to create breakthroughs of insight and motivation. They look for ways to anticipate, adapt, or even create change, rather than waiting for it to happen. The first tool of the synergizer role, called Choices for Change, allows leaders to diagnose 4 types of change and possible responses. One response is entropy, where the fear of change causes people to be passive, to deny reality, and to disconnect. Another response is feel-good change, which causes people to submit to a safe course of action and ultimately realize little benefit from the change. The third type of response is crisis-driven change, which is often characterized by hostility and overreaction. Lastly, the synergistic approach to change integrates a vision of the future with reality to find new ways to achieve a whole greater than the sum of its parts through self-determination and collaboration. The Choices for Change tool allows work leaders to set the stage for using the second synergizer tool, the 7-step guide to self-improvement.
The 7 steps can be illustrated with the example of the West Jersey health system, which used the process to move forward during a time of dramatic changes in health care.
In Step 1, establish context. Choices for Change helps you to reduce the fear and anxiety that always accompany change by creating a context for action that defines the challenge and the vision for meeting it. The context gives people an understanding of why they should work together as a unified team, and a mission that helps to focus their commitment.
West Jersey Health System established context by presenting its people with the facts. The government was slashing reimbursement. Patients feared that they would not receive quality care, and so on. The senior leadership team considered each of the 4 choices for change. If they waited passively for the industry to be restructured by politicians or insurance companies, they would slide into entropy. They simply couldn't survive by making incremental feel-good changes, and they didn't want to reduce their service to patients through crisis-driven changes like downsizing. Instead, they suggested a synergistic approach to change. They would work closely with employees to redesign people's roles. The goals would be to work more efficiently and to provide better service to patients.
In Step 2, assess the effectiveness of the company's overall mission. Are the right people in the right place at the right time for the right reason and cost to achieve the mission? You must weigh the severity of the challenge in terms of the risk it represents to the company's vision, including its values.
West Jersey asked everyone to participate in assessing the organization as if it were a patient that required an in-depth diagnosis. The company created its own internal consulting teams to ask every person what he or she does, the time and costs needed to do the job, and the roadblocks that often get in the way of doing the job right.
In Step 3, identify opportunities for improvement. Use verifiable data to set practical, achievable targets for change. This helps people to understand how they should act to create measurable improvement.
For example, West Jersey's data revealed that 40% of the work that was being done by professionals, such as nurses and pharmacists, should have been delegated to support staff. Everyone agreed that the company had to make changes that would allow professionals to focus more of their time on the patient.
In Step 4, mobilize support for the plan. Create a magnet of positivism by focusing on those who are ready to change and getting them behind the program with great enthusiasm.
West Jersey's management shared the information they had gathered with all of its employees. They identified several opportunities, recruited people who believed in the change, and mobilized cross-functional teams for action.
In Step 5, take action. Implement the plan by providing the people who support it with an achievable agenda.
West Jersey's teams immediately went to work. One team, which was charged with solving the problem of overlapping work roles, came up with a plan that would change every clinical professional's portfolio of work. The company is now offering people the chance to apply for the new streamlined roles. Though some of them will lose their jobs, 90% of the professionals agreed that it was the right action to take for their patients.
In Step 6, measure the results. By taking stock of successes and failures, leaders strengthen people's commitment to the vision and their willingness to improve.
The results of West Jersey's change are not yet complete, but the CEO is convinced that the plan will improve the quality of its service while saving more than $25 million.
In Step 7, improve continuously. Repeat the 7-step process, building on the momentum already achieved and creating a synergistic kick of insight and energy.
West Jersey has already started another cycle of change. Because of the enthusiasm that was built the first time, people are more determined to make new improvements.
Through this 7-step process, work leaders are able to drive change for continued progress, rather than being driven by change to take desperate measures.